Hello, everybody.
Hi guys,
Mr. and Mrs. Traveler here.
it'll cost Glam Live.
All right, welcome everybody. Just getting our live feed together here.
Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna wait till everybody come on board and join us. How are you doing? How are you holding up with these days that we are quarantined inside? Hope everybody's doing okay. Our prayers are with you and your families and stay strong. Thank you so much for the people who are on the front lines. Thank you so much to the people who are delivering mail still, who are doing deliveries to our home for our groceries, packages, everything. We want to thank you very much. Everybody can't take off at this time, but we are praying for everybody who has to work at this time. We want to just be thankful for our jobs right now. We want to be thankful for our homes because it could be a lot worse.
All right, welcome. I see everybody's coming on. I see Carla and Ash and Kate Boosie and Jahira, Mr. Truman, Cruz Thus. Hello, everybody. All righty. Hey, Deanna.
I see the video.
Okay, you got it. Keep talking.
So we thank you so much for joining us, everybody who stopped your day. We're gonna try to go live a lot until we start cruising again, and we also will be uploading videos. Either we'll do an upload or we'll do a video, and we're gonna try to do that for you very often. What's crazy is right now there's more news happening in cruising than it is when we're sailing. So we wanna make sure we keep everybody updated on what's going on, and thank you so much for watching. Yeah, exactly right there.
All right, well, hello everybody. I see our friend Michael Bordelon and Stacy, and hello everybody.
Hi.
All right, guys. So we're going to be talking about some ideas that we have on what will it take to get cruising again. We'll start off by saying you probably have already heard this, but Princess and Holland have also announced, much like Carnival, that they're going to extend their cancellations all the way through June.
Hold on 1 second. We want to tilt the camera up just a little bit because our heads.
Okay.
Just give us 1 second. We still loading. Just going right here.
How's that?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
Okay.
Shirt is open.
All right.
Okay, we good.
All right. So yeah, so Princess and Holland have joined Carnival and shutting down the cruises through June. I'm kind of surprised Royal Caribbean hasn't and Norwegian haven't jumped on board this just yet. But I fully expect them to join suit with that. I'm sure they're probably just trying to figure things out. My opinion is, and I said this the other day, that this will be the last round of cancellations. I think, unless something really drastic happens with this virus, if things continue in the path that they are, I think that we'll see a return after at the end of June when we hit July. And saying that, I think that it'll be the crew. Well, I know the cruise lines have indicated that they're going to have reduced sailing. Not all the ships will be sailing, so they'll be staggering things in. So
Yes, we are so fortunate to even be here. We have to be thankful, but we're ready to get cruising. But this video will let us know what will it take to start cruising again. And I thought this would be a more important video to do besides, what dates we push back, what's extended. I think we need to know what the cruise lines need to do in order to start selling again. So that's important too.
oh, and let me say this, I forgot to mention this about Royal Caribbean, and this is probably the indicator that they'll probably make their announcement today or tomorrow.
Can you turn it up? It's too low. We pull the speaker closer. I think we have to pull the camera.
Sure, let's see
closer.
what we can do about
It's
that.
too low. Let's try to turn it up a little bit.
Okay, I got there. So let's just talk a little bit too. Yeah, and I forgot to mention this. So I think that we're going to hear an announcement from Royal Caribbean very soon because they have sent. We saw some video today where they have sent all the crew back home on chartered flights that were on the ship. So I think that we're going to see an announcement from them really soon. They wouldn't do that without having some cancellations coming. So
we're gonna get started. I decided to produced this video and put it together. Mr. Traveler is the brains of traveling, so I like to pick his brain and see how he feel. You know, when we do our pros and cons, we do our list separate, and it makes it more funner because it tells you how I feel, and then it tells you how he feeling on his points, because we think totally different about things.
We are a team, ma'am.
But sometimes we have different opinions on that same topic, so this should be fun. Okay, so my question was, when will we cruise again? And this is we're speaking about all the cruise lines right now, because what I found was most cruise companies have announced plans to return in later June. Do you think that's too early to come back, or do you think that's right on time, or is it too late?
No, I think it's good, and we kind of predicted that it was going to be in June. Well, now that's actually going to be into July. I think that it's a good time. It gives them ample time to figure things out. I don't know if you want to discuss what you think it's going to take for them to
Yes.
to get on there.
We're gonna get into that.
Okay, so, but no, I think that's a good time, and a cruiseaholic like me, who's going through withdrawals right now without having some cruise plans on the books, I'm getting a little antsy here.
Yes, me too. So the thing that we want to talk about is, what do the cruise lines need to do before we sail? Like before we even walk onto the ship, there's some things that has to happen. And I think there'll be a number of challenges that they have to address first in order for us to sail again. So let's get into that a little bit more deeper. Is that okay? Okay, so let's do like a little list right now of what we think they need to do. The first thing that I think they need to do is rebuild the fleet. I think they need to get a whole new crew, because they're laying off so many people. They're going back to their home countries. Well, how do we know if they're gonna, have that particular crew in place by the time they come back? I know they laid off a lot of people, but are they gonna call those same people back, or are they just gonna hire new people? I think they have to rebuild. They have to rebuild their crew.
Yeah, that's gonna take, and that goes back to the point of them staggering the ships back in. Like Princess said, they're not going to have all their fleet come back in because they pretty much just scrapped the Alaska season for the most part. So those ships won't be sailing. But I'm sure as they have, let the crew go back home and have helped them get back home, I'm sure they have probably put them on notice. Hey, listen, we're probably thinking about going back in July, so by the the 3rd or 4th week in June, be ready to come back so they can dust the cobwebs off the ship and get it ready to go for the new passengers. So they probably have, I think that they probably put their bids in. So like when Royal Caribbean let the people go today and send them home, they're probably like, we're gonna be calling you in June. Yeah. That way another cruise line doesn't try to swoop them up real quick, and they might actually have some competition with getting those people back.
I think it's very expensive for them to fly back home. Some people live in Indonesia, some people live in the Philippines. It's gonna be hard for them to get those tickets back. And I know that when the staff is working because they need the money, some people send their money back to their families. So I'm really concerned about that. How are they gonna rebuild the crew? My next question was, how are they gonna, when I say rebuild the fleet, are they gonna rebuild the ships to where they are sanitized?
Yeah.
Are they gonna enforce some more sanitary habits? Because when we go to the buffet, it's all you can eat, and everybody's grabbing forks, spoons, knives. Would they be feeding us now? How would that look? How does that have to happen?
Well, first of all, I think it's going to probably be the washy-washy police before you come in there. They're probably going to make you washy-washy before you come in there to enter the buffet. I think that's probably step one. Step two, they will probably serve you, as opposed to everybody grabbing and doing their own thing. They will probably do the serving of the food.
I think so.
I'm not going to say always, but I think getting started as we start back up for the first 6 months or whatever, or it's going to depend on how this virus plays out. Is it going to fade away and die and go away? Please.
Yes.
That would be great. It just depends on what's going to happen, but for the foreseeable future, I think that's what's going to happen.
I'm thinking, another question is, would they put a guarantee there? And guarantee means what I mean by guarantee is the safety of us. Will they guarantee our safety be there? Because in order for us to cruise again, we have to make sure that the cruise ships are safe enough. And I know a lot of people are commenting below. Thank you so much for commenting. And if you have any questions, we're going to try to get to them. But our family of cruising, they talk to each other, so everybody know each other. We do group cruises, so you know who you're talking to in the bottom. So go ahead and keep the camaraderie
quality
together.
child care is on board.
Oh, hello. Quality child care. Hi. It's warm today. It's about 98 degrees outside, so it's a little warm.
I think you also will probably see a bigger time gap in between, like the lunch and dinner per se, where they actually probably go through and like sanitize everything.
Yes.
So you'll probably see some new chemicals that they're using and probably some new methods that they're using, and they'll probably come through, and I would think they'll sanitize the entire place. And same thing with the dining room in between seatings. You're going to see a lot of sanitation taking place.
I think that in order for us to cruise again, there should be no fears, and everybody on the ship should be virus free. So in order to build our trust, there should be nobody on there that's sick. And I think that they would incorporate taking our temperatures a lot too. That's going to have to happen in order for us to board the ship.
I don't know. I don't want to come up here and say it outright, but they may require a doctor's note to go on board. I don't know. I mean, that's a possibility. We know that some of the cruise lines are expecting guests 70 years or older to submit some kind of a physical to go on board the ships. So there's going to be that. So they may require some kind of documentation from the doctor before you board the ship. And I'm saying that loosely because I'm just sitting here thinking about when we took that test, how uncomfortable that was.
It hurted.
It hurt.
I can't say it didn't hurt because it did. It hurted.
I'll take that pain for a cruise. I just don't want to. It did not feel. Was not comfortable.
So for our safety, we had to take it, and thank God it was negative. Yep. So I think in order for us to cruise again with the fleets, I think they have to build the trust of even their veteran cruisers. There's some people who only cruise Disney, or only cruise World, or only cruise Carnival. They have to rebuild our trust again because we're in the middle of a pandemic. There are people who are sick and very, very sick, and some people didn't make it. So they have to rebuild our trust because when you cruise, you're around people all the time. So I think that there's going to be a camaraderie with that as well. Another thing is it's going to take a lot of convincing to get us to board again. I think we're going to slowly start cruising again, and then there's going to be a big wave. Or do you think it'll just be people booking all at once?
Well, Susan has some here. She's got a cruise on July 13th, and I asked, "Do you think it'll go?" I think it'll go. I mean, like I said, I think this will be the last round of cancellations.
When is our cruise?
July 13th. So I think it will go. So to your question, I think you're going to have two schools of thought, right? You're going to have people like us who are like, good God Almighty, I need my cruise.
We're going through cruise withdrawals.
Okay, and then you're going to have people who, respectfully so, are hesitant to go back and won't go back right away. That's why we're getting people that are booking now for 2021 because they're like, okay, by 2021 this will have calmed down and we'll be kind of normal. So you've got that going on. So you're gonna have that couple, and then you're gonna have people who are just like, I'm done.
Right. That's it.
I mean, they'll have that too. But the cruise lines are, like I said, they're gonna stagger their ships. So they'll have this slow back to cruising because they got to get the crew back on board. They have to figure out this sanitizing thing, how to make people safe. They have to figure out the biggest problem for them is going to be figuring out what the CDC is talking about. They're saying like, hey, what are you going to do on your ship if somebody's on there to get sick? Cruise line, what are you going to do? They're putting a lot of onus on the cruise lines to come up with solutions should they have some kind of an outbreak or something on the ship. So that's going to be, to me, the biggest hurdle that they're going to have to cover is their game plan should something occur. And I'm sure that they're going to figure it out one way or another because they really want to get back to business, I know.
Okay.
lost my train of thought there. But we have Carnival kind of for an example, and I didn't even tell you this on there, so this is new for you too.
Well, put me up on it. I need to know.
If you look in the system on Carnival and try to book a lot of cruises, you're going to have a hard time booking anything especially on some ships, all the way through spring of next year. Example, Mardi Gras. You can't go on there and do a booking for Mardi Gras right now until the end of March of next year, even though the ship is scheduled and slated to come out in November.
Wow.
And our group cruise is in January. And what I'm hearing is that they're doing that because they want to reduce the number of people that's going to be on that ship.
Really?
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Word on the street?
Yeah, that may change.
Okay.
The actual deployment of Mardi Gras, like Princess announced today that their new ship is going to be put on hold because of what's going on. But Carnival is in the middle of building the Mardi Gras. Spain had that outbreak, so I don't know if it's going to be delayed beyond November. I think that it will. I really think that it will. I can't see. I don't know if they continued to build it while they were having that outbreak in Spain, but it could. I mean, I don't know. So you're going to have that, and they're going to stagger it in. What I will tell you guys is that I think, this is just my thought on it. Right now, there are some deals on cruising. It's not like you really think it is. Like your brain would think it'd be like, hey, I can get a $5 cruise. It's not that right now.
No.
However, I think that when this breaks open and they finally have some solid, hey, we're getting back to cruising, I think you're going to see some good deals on there because there will be people that are skeptical, right? So and the cruise lines are going to be battling for that business. So I think you're going to see some really great deals.
Of competition.
When this thing opens.
That was exactly what I wanted to talk about next.
Okay.
The prices of selling. Like a lot of people are asking us, will they be discounts? How about that $125 credit for rebooking? And the cancel sellings, the price of fuel demand, I think that would be a factor in the price.
Well, shoot, the gas is so cheap now, they need to pay us.
Yeah. Comment below and let us know if your gas is very cheap. For some reason, the gas is really cheap around here. Comment below and let me know if your gas is very cheap. I know in Detroit it's like under $1.
Yeah, well, nobody's driving. I mean, very few people driving. There's no planes flying. The ships aren't going, so the oil reserves are huge right now. We're in the United States drilling for our own oil, so our reserves are huge. It's just the demand is way down. That's really what the issue is. But I wish I could get like a big giant tank so I could pump it and hold on to it while it's $1.80 something.
That's smart. Yeah, so the next thing, I wanted to talk about was the changes that we'll see in later this year in 2021. You have to make sure you watch our channel to follow us, and if you wanted to book your cruise or adventure, please call us at 877-697-4470, or you can reach us at www.mr-traveler.com so we can keep you posted, because when we start selling again, it's going to be what we call wave season, and our phones is going to ring off the hook. So if you call, just leave a message. If not, we'll call you back. But right now, nobody's selling. Selling is ceased. So the thing that I was wondering about was...
Well, you had, let's see, $1.39 in Lower Michigan, $1.28 in Columbus, Ohio, $1.34
pretty cheap.
in Galveston, $1.45 in
Wow.
Georgia. Somebody said under $1.
Under $1?
Maryland around.
This is unheard of. We haven't had these prices since we were kids.
Yeah, it's for us here. $1.15 in Texas.
$1.15.
$1.22 in Dallas. It's
Wow.
Here's I've seen it like $1.70 something. I wish it would go down.
Me too. It's still $1.70 is cheap for us, but we're in a tourist area. We're right at Disney.
Yeah, you remember them? You remember them days back when
that snowball wouldn't pay us. Sorry.
the days back when $5 got you through the weekend for everything.
Yes.
Put $5 in the car, you rode all weekend, your friends had a good time. Way back when.
Yes, we had a fun childhood.
$5 won't even get you a meal at McDonald's anymore.
No, probably something out the 99-cent meal if they had one. Menu, the 99-cent menu. So the thing that we talked about is we want to talk about what's the changes that's coming for this year and next year. I think that they would probably like specialty dining and things like that. But we'll do a separate video on that. What's to come? We'll talk about that later. So comment below and let us know if you want us to predict what's going to happen, or we can tell you what's going to happen, because we've been doing this for 50 cruises in, so we know exactly what we're talking about. So what we talked about so far was the crew. Will they redo the crew? And also, they're going to inflate prices for the provisions, which means the food and everything. I think that price is going to go up because nobody's been working.
Yeah, they're gonna have to figure out ways to make money. Number one is getting you on the boat.
Yeah.
Number one is gonna get you on the boat.
Winning your trust.
So that's gonna be
Yes.
their first obstacle. Then it's gonna be, once they got you on board, you know, they're gonna be pushing photo packages and this
Yeah.
and that, and you know, they definitely need to get back to profitability.
Exactly. Yeah. And I think that in order to get us cruising again, they're gonna have to do a lot of health screenings, or they're gonna ask for a doctor's note. I think that's what's gonna change too. Or at the end, they're gonna take a lot of temperatures and do a lot of thermal checks.
And probably they'll probably offer you some kind of a free screening on board the ship if you think, you know, or whatever, or if you get any kind of symptoms.
Yeah.
And then Rudell asked, do you think the port fees will change?
That was my next question. My next discussion was the ports. So we can get into that.
I don't know. I don't really think the port fees will change. They may go up a little bit to help the islands recoup some of that. But again, the islands are going to be in the same kind of
literally
boat. They're going to want to attract the ships back to their islands as well. So, you know, I don't know. If they do, I don't think they'll go up that much. They're ready for us to come back and start spending our money on those islands too.
And my friend Yetta said that she trusted they'll have a new criteria for boarding. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think they will as well. And I think that the biggest thing is, will we be able to sail to that port? Do they trust us enough to dock there? Some ports will turn you away. So I'm hoping we can build trust to go to the ports that we want to go to, because they can turn us away in a minute.
At this juncture, we've been gone for so long, and they depend on our tourism dollars so badly, most of the islands. I think the risk is gonna outweigh, you know, any caution. I think they're gonna tell them to come on, you know, with limitations, of course.
And Yvonne asks, have we heard anything about the islands and the virus that's going on? The virus is all over the world.
Yeah.
There's nowhere that you can go that the virus is not. It's all over the world, literally. Hawaii, Alaska, even in the Bahamas, Greece, everywhere. It's all
I
over
haven't
the
heard
world.
about any of the islands having like major breakouts or anything
they
like
got
that.
cases, but not major breakouts.
Where were we? As far as the embarkation, I think you're going to see more staggered times for boarding, and probably later.
Embarkation, debarkation.
Yeah, later times to depart from the port, to give them more time to clean the staterooms, to stagger the check-ins. And again, that goes back to them limiting the amount of passengers that'll be on board the ships too. So I think you'll see that.
Yep. So thank you so much for the questions below. We appreciate you joining us with this particular video. I thought this was very important. One of our subscribers requested it, so I wanted to get this video out, and we will be going live a lot more. Make sure you turn on your notifications. That little bell that's under the subscribe button is right next to the subscribe button. You want to click that so you'll know when we're going live, because we're not on our schedule until we go back sailing. So we'll be going live, or we'll be uploading every week, almost every day, because we want to unfold the news with you, and we want to talk about this with you, because you guys are our family.
Yeah, I want to keep you in the know, and then let you know when we got that green light to start going again. But you know what, if you were thinking about something next year anyway, it's a good time. It's a good time to plan for it now for next year, because you think about it, if they start back in July and they start a slow start up and they're getting people back used to it, we may see those prices increase for next year as they try to increase that profit margin. So it might be a good time to lock in while it's low now.
Yeah, and forgive us for looking down because we're looking at your messages coming in and we appreciate it. And thank you so much for commenting.
So
And
Kevin asked, what's the next sailing that we have that hasn't been canceled?
oh boy, hopefully Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras, but Mardi Gras, I can't book anybody else on it at this point.
They won't. They won't
So
let us
those
do
who
it.
are on board with us already are still on board with us unless the ship gets delayed. Other than that, believe it or not, if something happens to the Mardi Gras, our next confirmed one isn't all the way to our group cruise in Hawaii.
Yep, and that's next year.
But you better
in the
believe,
summer,
as soon as we get the green light,
we're out of here. Yeah.
gone.
Yes, so thank you so much for the comments. Thank you so much for stopping your day. And if you have any other questions, just comment below and our veteran subscribers will comment on your question if you have it. And we'll be talking as well. And the video today was about how do we get started cruising again and what needs to be done in order for us to start cruising again. So we hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah, Jahir was asking what happened to the Europe one.
Oh, you have to follow us on Facebook to know that. Yes,
Yeah.
we've already talked about that.
Yeah.
So
Too risky.
it's too risky to have it.
It was so much that was coming into your brain. I lost my train of thought. I don't like that air, but
That's okay. If you think of it, just let me know. And someone asked as well. I remember
I'm
someone
reading
asking the future of cruising, would the prices be cheap?
well, yeah, we talked about that a little bit. I think once we start going back up, you're going to see a lot of competition initially. Yeah, so you'll see some dirt cruises. Alistair says he thinks he's jinxed a lot of the cruises. Yes, I think you have, Alistair.
That's okay.
We love you, yeah, but I know it seems like that because he was booked on us with the Oasis, and then the crane fell on there,
Yes.
and the story just goes on and on.
And Deanna said that was sad. Yes, it is. Very sad. That's why I don't like to talk about it because it's sad. Hi, pretty girl. How you doing?
That was so crazy with the Oasis. I mean, we're like literally 4 days away from, or what was it? It might have been 5 or 6 days before our cruise, and a crane falls out. I mean, like, how does that happen?
Right. And just go ahead and finish talking below. That's it for us. We're all set. We're all done. We're going to be coming tomorrow with another video tomorrow about all this cruise news that's going on. We have so much to talk about. Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah, let's see. Get it as has the Royal changed their start dates yet? Not yet, but we
are waiting on those. We should have those tomorrow.
and also
Not
Charity
tomorrow.
has also. They have not done so yet, but I fully expect them to. They just sent their crew home today.
Yes,
So-
Princess also sent their crew home today.
Okay, so I fully expect them to extend their cancellations very, very soon.
Princess sent 3,500 people home today. And then I'm not sure exactly how many Royal. I think it was like 2,900 from Royal, but they all flew back today. So that was sad as well.
Hey, if they come back and say they're later on today and do it, we'll pop back on and let you know.
I'm all done.
Okay.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back tomorrow. Make sure you turn on that notification button. We are off our schedules. Usually we upload on Tuesdays and Thursdays, but this time we're gonna do it every day. So we can go ahead and get all the information out because there's been so many rebooks, so many cancellations. We wanna make sure we keep our clients and subscribers aware of what's going on. And if we know it, we wanna be the first ones to tell you. Thank you so much for watching.
Yes, thank you so much, guys. Life's short.
Have fun.
See the world.
See the world. Bye, everyone.
And if Royal says something tonight, we'll be back on tonight.
We will. As soon as we know it, make sure you turn your notifications on. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Come on.